everybody, it's Glenn back in this video as 31 horror toys in 31 days continue with the Hellboy Graveyard Skeleton Build-A-Figure. Yep, a bath, the parts of which came packed with Gentle Giant's bust-ups from the Hellboy animated Sword of Storms that came out in 2006. Those were a series of construction figurines that once assembled maybe stood a few inches tall, and I'm living proof that the Build-A-Figure concept as a sales tactic works because I wasn't particularly interested in the bust-ups, but I collected them all so I could build this guy, who, unlike the bust-ups, is actually a fully articulated action figure of a skeleton. And in my world, that's all kinds of cool, ticking the big box of must-have. As for me, it toes the line really nicely between being both creepy and as such appealing to the horror fan within me, yet it also strangely makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside with nostalgia, as looking at it takes me back to being a little kid watching those old Ray Harryhausen movies as Jason and the Argonauts battle stop-motion skeletons. And I really like the attention that's been paid to the surface texture. As we take a closer look, you can see all those cracks in the surface of the bones, and then a paint deco's been applied to complement that with a dark wash that's pulled in the recesses of those cracks. Then if you're wondering about this piece on his back, well, this is why he's called the Graveyard Skeleton, as it is in fact a piece of graveyard terrain. It is removable if you just wanted a plain skeleton. So these are all tombstones sticking out of where the ground would have been, and me saying that these are tombstones gives you an idea of the scale of the skeleton, as he is actually a ginormous skeleton that's emerged from the graveyard, these tombstones staying attached to his back as he rises from the ground. And you can see his size in a lineup with some of our other subjects from this 31 horror toys in 31 days. He stands about 8 inches tall, so more appropriately scaled to the bust-ups his parts came packed with, as those only stood a couple of inches tall. Now looking at articulation, and he sure packs it in with a head that rotates and an articulated jaw. Ha ha ha! I'll get you, Hellboy, and your little dog too! Then each bone in his spinal column is individually articulated, meaning you get a good range of movement of the head, and then also in the torso here, so he can move forward really far, and then also back, and then does also move side to side. However, a downside to all that articulation is that it doesn't provide that much stability when posed, so you can see he kind of wobbles side to side. His shoulder is a ball and socket joint, you know, like an actual shoulder. The arm rotates there and it doesn't really move up too far. Has a single jointed elbow which brings his lower arm to almost a right angle to his upper arm. Then at the wrist his hand rotates, and this is also hinged, moving down and up, and I love the sculpt of these hands. They're slightly clawed and very gestural. At the hips his legs move both forward and backward very far, but they don't move out to the side very much. There's a single jointed knee, and then at the ankle his foot is hinged, moving backwards and forwards. Then there's a rotation cut mid-foot, and then articulated toes. So if I'm honest, I'm not the biggest Hellboy fan. Not that I'm not a fan either, I guess I'm Hellboy neutral. And that's a sign that a figure has done its job well when it transcends your opinion of the line it comes from and is just creepy cool regardless. Anyway, click the video on the right if you missed my previous video, and stay tuned for more 31 horror toys in 31 days. I hope to see you next time. Bye.